Whisper here, bringing you another ghost tale. A true life ghost tale. This ghost tale is entitled The Mill Murderer. And before I start this ghost tale, this is one for you to listen to and not to repeat. Early in the 20th century, there was a family called the Patterson family. John Patterson was an incredibly successful businessman. He ran a mill, a busy mill, and this mill supplied the village in which it was in with most of their work, most of their jobs. He was that successful that he decided to buy another mill. In this day and age, children left school when they were quite young, and John Patterson had a son. His son's name was John Patterson Jr. When John opened his new mill, he left his son, John Patterson Jr. in charge of his existing mill and all the staff there. John Patterson Jr. was 13 years old, and most of the staff weren't that happy about taking orders now from a 13-year-old boy. But they had no choice and got on with it. All apart from the caretaker, Mr. Miller. He wasn't happy at all. In fact, he had a great dislike for teenagers. Thought they hadn't lived and thought they knew everything. Mr. Miller was a strange character. They say he had lots of money and didn't need to work in the mill. They say he did so just to have a moan. So there were some problems. Mr. Miller and John Patterson Jr. clashed, that's for sure. But people got on with their work, and in fact John Patterson Jr. had a lot of energy, a lot of good ideas, and he was doing a great job by all accounts. The caretaker Miller started vocalising his dislike of the new boss to the extent where action had to be taken. John Patterson Jr. had to sack caretaker Miller. And when he did so, caretaker Miller exploded, calling the boy all kinds of names. A snotty little teenager, barely even able to wear gentleman's trousers. It took two of the other male staff to drag caretaker Miller out of the mill, and he swore his revenge. The next day, John Patterson Jr. arrived at the mill first as usual, opened up and went into his office. There he found caretaker Miller hanging by a rope. He was dead. But he wasn't the only one to go to the mortuary that day. A few hours later, John Patterson Jr. walked straight up to the roof, and as if he was in a trance, just walked straight off the edge of the building. All the other teenagers who worked in that mill over the next 2 weeks all died of very strange deaths. And it is said that caretaker Miller still haunts teenagers. And the reason I told you at the beginning of this tale that this is one for you to listen to and not repeat. So that every time you repeat this ghost tale, you build up the energy that attracts Caretaker Miller to you. And sometime you might be telling this tale, all of a sudden behind you, whispering in your ear, might just be Caretaker Miller. So be warned. Repeat it if you dare.